Snow. Broken branches everywhere. Was a bent over bush that's not broken, but that's a broken branch. And we're actually generating some electricity. Because the sun came out for once in multiple days. It's this second blackout in 2 days and no idea when it's going to be restored. That's the electricity being drawn by the dump load, 2019 watts. Because I got a 2 kilowatt space heater plugged into that mess of stuff, that meter, that breaker box, and those receptacles are automatically switched by this Sol-Ark. Effectively, it's a dump load with a Sol-Ark, sun sink, both the basically the companies, well, the company who makes this inverter and all the companies, including Sol-Ark, who rebrand their own modified versions thereof, one of the port modifications, all call smart load, but it's a dump load. Stop being pretentious. And then that's what I call the neighbor feed panel, although right now I'm just using it as more receptacles, because things aren't so bad that I'm feeding neighbors off of the system yet. Well, for now. And main breaker box. That thing just with the green light is a surge breaker. Whoa, difficult things gotten expensive recently. Let's go, Brandon. And then those arc fault breakers right there. Ones with the light switch thingies, which are for testing. Those feed various circuits in the house. Those 2 breakers on the bottom that are off, those aren't connected to anything right now. Those are just spares. And I don't have anything on them because this is an annoyingly designed panel, and it's got 4 rows of breakers on one phase, but 3 on the other. It'd be really useful if this were a 16 position panel, because then I could have 2 breakers down there. It'd be more balanced. Because, pants on head. But it's what I could get, 3 years ago when I was putting this system in. Then a nightlight up there, that thing. More receptacles, this, which is more what have you. Welder receptacle, house feed. Alternate house feed going through my backup Sol-Ark. And yeah, lots of meters. And the backup Sol-Ark, actually for the duration of this blackout, I've put this one in grid tie mode, so it's back feeding into my main Sol-Ark. And there, 2050, so over 2070 watts. Just not, ooh, 2256. That's a 1962 watt nominal array. And the cloud just went over naturally. But we're getting so much glare off of the snow that that photovoltaic array is actually producing more than nameplate. And of course the red numbers, that is because this inverter is back feeding into this one. Because ordinarily this isn't a grid tie system, but just because cost of regulatory, what have you, it would cost me probably an extra $20,000 to go grid tie. Just in permitting and stuff that I don't need for the nature of how I built the system. Because it's basically a great big whole house of UPS, which is what it is functioning as right now. But yeah, I don't care if I have grid tie inverters back feeding into what is effectively my grid right now. Well, for most of the house, I also have other stuff running off of the power shed. And of course a bunch of one-armed bandits, midnight solar, surge protection devices, and those are the ones for the backup Sol-Ark. Even though the Sol-Ark has disconnects built in, I still like putting these things in, especially at least when I got these guys. You can find these on eBay used in good condition for 30 bucks a piece. And then just a 4 square box with a 1/2 inch trade size knockout cover plate on it. And stick one of these things on, and it's, I mean, yeah, these things are like 100 bucks a piece. But these things, after government leaks, I consider about 9 grand. So, and I've got 2 of them. Yeah, this is a lot of money. These help protect things. Plus, good trick whenever you've got a system like mine where your photovoltaic array is 300 feet from where your Sol-Arks are, just by the nature of the property and the fact that there's bloody trees everywhere, and trees are kind of opaque and take a massive dump in your production. Just come out here whenever there's a sign of a storm, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and these things will clamp any induced surges to where it won't be able to arc across the switches. At least in theory. At least that's been my experience. Granted, I mean, yeah, these are all also EMP hardened Sol-Arks, but this one, granted, this is a very early build date Sol-Ark 12K. This one was made in October 2019. And of course I bought it February of 2020. Might have been January, I don't remember. Because I got it right with very early signs that the world was going to go nuts. And yeah, to hold off a couple of months, this one does have, you know, some what have you in terms of its standby losses are close to 100 watts versus the 60 of this one. And there are some hardware things, just because it's a very early one. Like this one is only good up to 59 volts for charging batteries. The other one's good for 61, which, you know, because lead acid is kind of important. But, yeah, it got us through Isaiah's. And now it's getting me through another blackout along with this one. And that array is feeding my power shed. It's the EAT 230 watt Eco Solar G's. Got these, what, 6 years ago now, buddy, from Solar Boulevard, who's now out of business and has been since September 2017 or 2018. These buggers, which aren't producing much, but I got all that on them. This array that I put in, what was it, last August? That is the 6 227 watt sun powers, and it's producing more than 2 kilowatts because of all the snow glare. And these are 2 more sun power arrays. These ones are only 5 modules each, but since the Sol-Ark will happily handle 6, what I'm going to do is, because I've got more of these modules, I'm going to extend the racking and make these 6, and I'm going to have to replace the MNSPD 300 that's on the junction box of these, but that's easy because I got a bunch of 600s, MNSPD 600s, and then that back array is going to be moved over there because of shading issues that I have in the summer, and given the way the world's headed, this system is going to be providing a lot more of my electricity than it already is, and by a lot more I mean all of it. And then hopefully get a bunch of those trees whacked down and have like another row or 2 of solar because of a possible project. Yeah, because is it really off-grid when you are providing the grid for a bunch of neighbors? We're dead branches. Ah! Snow bombs. Speaking of which, I'm not going to stand there. That tree is dead and shedding violently.